Let's put on our protective equipment. First, we will be using a disposable face mask, a disposable headband, an isolation gown fully sleeved, magnification glasses with external light source, and nitrile gloves. Per the CDC and OSHA, we are required to wear our personal protective equipment during every service as to protect our clients and ourselves. Sleeved isolation gowns are preferred, as we do find ourselves sometimes working across our clients to get the best angle. Let's get started. Please be sure to always have your clients fill out a thorough consultation form prior to the procedure. This will assure that any documentation is properly filled out, any questions are answered, and it will also alert us of any red flags in regards to our client's health. Be sure to use appropriate products to clean your tray prior to the service. We will start by placing a disposable dental bib along the tray. We will then follow by attaching blue barrier film along the sides of the tray. This will also be placed on areas such as chair levels, light fixtures, or magnification glasses that we might require throughout the service. Anywhere that you find yourself touching frequently is a place that you should cover. We will also be attaching a waste bag, as any garbage we accumulate throughout the service can be disposed of immediately. We will also be wearing a face mask to protect the clients and ourselves. The gloves we choose to use are nitrile based. We will also place a disposable dental bib for the client themselves to wear, a disposable headband for them to wear, and a disposable bib holder. More blue barrier film will be placed along the tray so that we may scatter our 2x2 aesthetic wipes along it. We choose to break them up into segments of 2 or 3 as to assure ease pickup throughout the service. You may choose to dampen them with diluted iodine or with diluted cream soap, depending on your preference. We will also be using Q-tips. Here we have about 10. A lint-free microfiber swab. A toothpick. A a disposable spoolie, string may be required for mapping of the brows, as well as a wax pencil, your disposable microblading tool or needle cartridges. Technicians have preferences on what they choose to use when stabilizing their pigment cups to use popsicle sticks, as they make for an easier cleanup. We will be using Vaseline along the top and bottom of one popsicle stick, applying a generous amount. We will be choosing to put 4 pigment cups onto the popsicle stick. Each will contain a different product. The first cup will contain Vaseline, which will be used throughout the service. The second cup will contain a lidocaine-based gel product. The third cup will be saved for the pigment of choice. And the fourth cup is for our Aquaphor, which will be the home care product. Clients with an allergy of shellfish will want to avoid iodine, and clients with an allergy of lavender will want to avoid green soap. Be sure to check your client's consultation form for any allergies. Here we have chosen to use iodine diluted with filtered water. Pigment ring will also be used, and a disposable shaver may be required for any additional grooming of the brow. A caliper for mapping the brows, magnification glasses may be necessary for the technician's visual aid. Some include external light sources, and different strength levels do occur, so find what you prefer. You might want to have some stress relievers at hand, as a distraction for the client is always nice. Be sure to take proper precaution when protecting the chair that the client will be sitting in. Here we have chosen to use table exam paper and blueberry film along the handles. Setting up your drawing tray. To begin, we will sharpen our wax-based pencil. This is a permanent makeup appropriate pencil, which has ingredients that are safe to be absorbed into the skin and will not affect the color or the healing of the skin. A surgical pen may also be used if preferred. Using a single-sided razor blade, we will sharpen the wax pencil. A scalpel or X-Acto knife may also be used. Bracing the bottom of the pencil, run the blade parallel. The shape we're trying to mimic is a blade-like shape. This way, any borders that we create or any hair-like strokes that we create will be fine and delicate. Always be sure to take your time and be careful. Cap the pencil until further use. We will also be using string throughout the mapping. We will use a kohl pencil to smudge along the string. This will be useful for leaving markings along the client's face to best determine the shape. Pigment may also be used in this scenario. Any color can be chosen. We will protect the client by placing a disposable headband around the crown of their head. We will also drape a disposable bib and attach a disposable bib holder. Disposable items make for a quicker, cleaner process at the conclusion of the service. When taking photographs, have your clients either look directly at the lens or with eyes closed. Make sure to take multiple angles of each eyebrow as to assure a variety of angles. Photos will also be important for insurance purposes. The use of numbing products is highly recommended but not mandated. Here we are choosing to use a cream-based lidocaine product as to assure our client's comfort. We will be applying a generous amount. Please check manufacturer's instructions in regards to time frame and whether your product will need to be occluded with plastic, as ours is here. The plastic will help the numbing cream absorb into the client's skin, so it will be more effective. Pigment selection can also be done in this time if it hasn't already. Please be sure to remove all residual numbing cream, as some creams are not appropriate to be used throughout the service. Clients should be aware that the procedure is a tattoo, and although the use of numbing cream and numbing gel will be occurring throughout the service, some discomfort may still occur. When mapping your brows, we will be using a combination of items as to assure accuracy. The first point we will want to determine is where the height of our brow should be. Centering yourself with your client's eyes, we will determine the bottom and the top of the client's brow by creating two parallel lines. In this instance, our client has one brow slightly more arched than the other and does have a preference over this brow. We will be using this brow to match the other side. Adjust as needed, as the string will sometimes roll. By extending this line at the bottom, we will give ourselves a baseline. Any hair that is below this line may be removed with our disposable shaver. Any hair that is missing from this line may be added with the strokes. Find the center of your client's face. We will now be using our caliper to determine where our brows should commence. By using handle 1 and 2, tear duct to tear duct, you may do this with your client's eyes closed or open. Do not make direct contact with the skin, simply hover above. We will now insert our additional arm, as this will be the center point. By rotating the caliper, we will now center the brow. Additional tools may be used as to assure accuracy when measuring the brows. Here we will be using a center headband to ensure the brows commence at the same point. The arm of the caliper can be used as a helpful tool when mapping the brow. Here we will be determining the tail of the brow. By connecting the outer flare of the nose to the outer crease of the eye, we will create our line that will determine the tail of the brow. Mimic the same process on the other side as well. Outer flare of the nose to the outer flare of the eye is the outer tail of the brow. To determine the top of your arch, we will be gliding along your client's natural bone structure. This may take a few attempts, so don't be discouraged. Pressing firmly on the pencil and gliding it along the skin, you will create your client's natural arch. Mimic the same process on the other side. Using your caliper again for reference, determine your tear duct to tear duct with point 1 and 2. By rotating the caliper, we will help determine the arch point. Rotating the caliper again will give us another measurement point on the bottom of the brow. Darken any lines if necessary. Mimic the process on the opposing side. Always be sure to take your time when mapping the brows, as this is the shape that the client will confirm. Clients are welcome to bring in photographs for reference. We will be checking our measurements again with an additional ruler. Make any adjustments you find necessary. We will now use the string to connect 3 points. The points will be used to create a straight line which will become the top right of our client's eyebrow. Be sure to press firmly so you have clear markings for reference. Mimic the same process on the opposing side to find the top of the left brow. Darken your lines with your wax pencil. We will now connect the bottom right of the client's eyebrow by creating a parallel line. Darken your line. When creating the bottom of the tail, a technician may prefer to bring the pencil from the bottom to the top as to create a more tapered angle. Always soften the arch of your brow, both at the top and the bottom. Brush your client's hair into place with a disposable spoolie. Remove any excess lines. Disposable shaver may be used at this point to remove any excess hair. We will want to remove hair if it will visually impair our line of sight. Maintain your blade parallel to the skin at a 45-degree angle. We will choose to use a disposable pigment ring, and the color of choice in this scenario will be espresso. You can confirm the color with the client by applying a small amount on the forehead. The color is approved. When removing your microblading tool from the package, be sure to remove the entire wrapping as to assure no nicks or damage to the blade occurs. When beginning your brow, be sure to pull the skin as tight as possible. We pick up enough pigment for 1 or 2 strokes and redip again. Minimal pigment pickup is desired as you will have a clearer view of the skin underneath. Be sure to always have your blade 90 degrees against the skin and pull with consistent pressure, lightening up slightly at the commence and the end. Always remember, if the stroke isn't deep enough, you can simply go over it again. Adjust your stretch as you continue to progress throughout the brow. Adjust your client's head if necessary for appropriate positioning. The hair pattern we have chosen in this instance will be a mixed hair pattern, as the client does have upward growing hair at the base of her brow and downward growing hair along the top of her brow. Mimicking our client's natural hair pattern will assure for the most natural results. Remember, the skin along the tail of the brow is slightly thinner, so lighten up your pressure. Masking the remainder of the pigment into the strokes will aid you in visually assessing what you have created and what you have yet to create. We will remove the excess with our dampened 2x2 aesthetic wipe. Brush your client's hair so you can see her strokes. Using a lint-free microfiber swab, we will be applying numbing gel to the area. This numbing gel is composed of lidocaine as well as epinephrine. The epinephrine will aid in preventing any bleeding, bruising, or swelling. We will commence the other brow. Pull the skin as tight as possible and always keep your blade at a 90-degree angle, lightening up slightly with your pressure at the beginning and the end of the stroke. Rotate your client's head if necessary for your comfort. There is no need to overcrowd the hair strokes together, as your client will be returning for a touch-up session. This is when additional hair strokes may be added. If you find throughout the service debris or hair work their way into your blade, simply wipe and continue on. Periodically check your blade for any nicks that might have occurred when dipping into your pigment ring or pigment cup. As technicians begin to work, they will find on whether the preference is to pull the blade towards themselves or to push the blade away from themselves. In this case, our technician has chosen to push away from herself while working on her client's left brow. When working on your fake skins, practice different angles to see what you prefer. Mask the color to better visually aid you. Remove any residual with a dampened 2x2. If an excess amount of pigment remains, Vaseline may be used to remove the residual. It will cause less abrasion to the skin. Brush your client's hair in the opposing direction to see what you have created. We will be applying our numbing agent to this brow. Returning to our original brow, we will remove any residual KP gel. Always be sure to double check your measurements before commencing. A toothpick and pigment may be used to aid in determining adjustments that you would like to do. Wipe away excess pigment for a better look. Filling in the center portion of the brow may require you to brush your client's hair out of the way periodically, either with your blade or your spoolie brush. Always be sure to have a clear visual before you place your needle into the skin. Follow the pattern that you created. Wipe as you go. Be sure to check in with your client as to assure they are still comfortable. If needed, KP gel may be applied, and you may continue on the opposing brow. If your client is still comfortable, continue on with your service. If necessary, go over the same hair stroke again to assure proper implantation. Brush your client's hair in the opposing direction to see what you've created. We will be reapplying our numbing agent as to assure our clients' comfort throughout the service. The presence of epinephrine within this product will clearly show a visible white halo around your client's eyebrow. This is because epinephrine is a vasoconstrictor. Continue to fill in the center of the opposing brow. Following the hair pattern that you've created, be sure to adjust your pressure at the tail of the brow, as the skin on the tail is always thinner. Be sure to check for consistency and pressure, as that will assure consistent healed results. You can check pressure depth by pressing the skin together and looking for your lymphatic fluid. Implant more pigment and depth if necessary. Adjust as needed. Always see if you can fill a gap by elongating a hair stroke rather than overcrowding. You can confirm with your client if they do see any spots that are still lacking hair strokes. This is a very natural microbladed eyebrow, which will be concluded at a touch-up session in about 4 to 6 weeks. Our client will now be receiving manual shading to conclude this session. For a more natural result, microblading may be left without the shading, but per the client's request, the shading was incorporated. We will now be using our 1F7N, which is a 1 flat row consisting of 7 needles. This will be the manual shader that we will use throughout the process. The pigment choice has been confirmed by the client as to achieve the desired look. Always be sure to stretch the skin as tight as possible and pounce the needles up and down into the skin. KP gel may be used prior to this as to assure client's comfort. Wipe as you go to see what you still have to fill. Repeat the same process on the opposing side. We have chosen to focus our powder effect in the center of her brow for a most natural result. A final mask should be applied as to assure all strokes have been saturated with pigment. Remove the mask with 2x2 aesthetic wipes, dampened. We will now use a dry paper towel to press against the fresh microblading. This will remove any residual pigment, fluid, or blood spots. We will also have the clients mimic this for the next 2 days after the procedure. This will ensure in a better healed result. Always be sure to wipe any residual pigment from your client's face prior to letting them leave. Confirm that your client is happy and take your after photos. Mimic the same positions that you did originally. We will now apply the Aquaphor onto the eyebrow as the service is concluded. Be sure to give your client the aftercare sheet, which will further instruct them in how to prevent the fading of the brows and how to take care of the brows. Remove the disposable bib and the disposable cap prior to letting them leave. Now we will clean up our tray. Please be sure to remove your procedure gloves and wash your hands immediately after. Our soap dispenser and paper towel dispenser are both touch-free and wall-mounted. Our hand sink is also touch-free as well. This is to limit the amount of contamination that occurs. Dry your hands thoroughly. Reapplying gloves immediately. Cavicide wipes will be used to wipe our tray. To begin, we like to remove the most dangerous items. In this case, it is a microblading tool and a disposable hair shaver. We will put those into the sharps container. The remainder of our garbage is disposable, so we will limit our contact but dispose of everything into the bin. Remove your gloves and wash your hands again. Some technicians may choose to wear 2 pairs of gloves. This is also appropriate. Dry your hands. And reapply your gloves. Wipe down your tray thoroughly and efficiently, leaving no debris or residue behind. Per the manufacturer's directions, they will take about 2 minutes to dry, and at the conclusion of drying time, the tray will be ready to be used again. You may now remove your gloves. As well as your isolation gown. Wash your hands one final time. Dry. And now you're done.